What's up, everybody? This is the Tom Carlson Show for Tuesday, August 18th, 2020. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It's Weird Tuesday. I'm watching the NBA playoffs. Let's see, who do we got here? We got Magic Bucks. You know, for two professional sports teams. I guess the Bucks is kind of cool because it's a real animal. But the Orlando Magic, how much hold did Mickey Mouse have on that state? We're going to name the NBA team the Magic because of Disney World. I think Disney World's down there. Anyways, hope, everybody's surviving. I don't know what happened, but I turned 30 like a month and a half ago. And for the first time in my life, I woke up with an injury. So I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's some kind of the layman's on the Reddit, frozen shoulder. So I woke up yesterday, and I came out to my living room, kitchen, office, TV place, the whole room, the 8x8, and I was like, wow, what's going on? I must have done something weird. And it's like a severe pinch. It goes up my neck, down, and then it's really bad. I think what they're calling on the scapula, I don't know. Something to do with my shoulder connecting to my back muscles. And if I don't move for longer than 3 minutes, it hurts. It's like shooting nerve pain. So 30 years old, waking up with injuries. We'll see how long we're doing the show here. But I'll do my best. Maybe broadcasting from a closet sooner than later, which, it'll be homier. Won't have the AC blast, and there won't be AC. I'll just be sweating. And, yeah. Speaking of talking about, what have I been up to? So before I got furloughed and then laid off and then, put through the ring around with the unemployment shit, I had done well for myself in the fact that I had paid off some loans, my student loans, all that, some of that shit. And as a result, I was like, all right, man, you deserve something. At this time, I felt pretty comfortable with the message my company was sending out about, keeping the core intact, which, at my management level there, I kind of thought I was part of that. So I bought myself this nice watch, right? It's a nice watch for me. It's not a Rolex, but it was that GShock. I even talked about it. And it's this gold-plated, I don't even think it's plated. It's stainless steel. It looks kind of like gold. But it's a cool watch, GShock. Check them out. And it was a $600 watch, and I was like, that was what I got for myself when I had paid off some of these things. And I was like, good for you, here's a little treat, because I saved up to do these things. I hadn't spent anything on myself. And I was like, man, I should probably, because I have a couple other nice-ish watches, and this was kind of the Coup de Grace. Is that oh man, I hope that's, let me find out. Coup de Grace. And working with an ancient iPad now. Let's see. No, I don't think that's the right term. Coup de Grace. Okay. Coup de Grace. A final blow or shot given to kill a wounded person or animal. So this watch was not the Coup de Grace. Unless you're talking my fashion sense, and then it is the Coup de Grace, because I put it on there, and it's just like, whoa, who is this guy? Who is this guy with his fancy, shiny stuff? And similar, it's a death similar to death blow, killing, dispatch, kiss of death, KO, action or event that serves as the culmination of a bad or deteriorating situation, which, relatable. Anyway, so I got this nice watch months ago. It was my Coup de Grace fashion watch. And the other day, with, essentially getting no money, I was like, well, maybe I should just start selling some of the stuff I don't need. Start downsizing my life. Not that the watch is big or do downsize with it, but it's just less stuff. Money in my pocket right now is more valuable than having a cool watch. So I went down. I was just looking up like pawn places because I come from an area of the country. Forgot that I was in the middle of Manhattan for a second. I was looking up these pawn shops and stuff, and there's no at least around me. I would have had to walk. I already walked 5 miles that day trying to get this thing figured out, and I ended up walking all the way down to the Diamond District, following this little trail of pawn shops. And dude, the Diamond District, it was insanely packed. And if you've watched Uncut Gems, it is exactly like that, but with about 30,000 more people walking around. And I went into a couple places, talked to the guy. I was like, hey man, you guys interested in this? And they give me this kind of look. They're like, who are you? And there's shady places in there. And that's where I was trying to sell it. I knew I was going to sell it at a place that is only showing diamonds and stuff. But they're all only dealing with diamonds and gold and silver. So I wasn't able to get anybody to even give me an offer on it. But I was able to work something out with my bodega guy. So that ended up working out. So I'll have to put on the other one for you next week that I need to fix, because I had to take pieces out of it to make another one work. So anyways, the Diamond District I already kind of knew about it going in there. I work relatively close, or I used to work relatively close down in Midtown, and so I'd walk kind of around it, but not on that street. I think it's 51st, 50. Yeah, it was nuts. Very New York thing to experience. So this ashtray here, I was able to bring back from back home, and it's actually my grandfather's. You can see my nostalgia for things that make me think of comfort, I guess, because grandfather, hopefully that's what you feel. But this is his ashtray. I don't know where it's going with that. And there's a golf ball on it, and the golf ball is from one of his several holes in ones. And so unfortunately the glue popped off, but the ball is hole in one, May 8th, 1965, Julius Pinkston. And for those golf nerds, it's a Titleist. The ball, the dimples are way more spread out for one. It feels rubberier. It's a Titleist 6 Acushnet DT. Woo! Yeah, Acushnet DT. So he's got several of these. Made that one, and I don't know. Damn. That had been right when my mother was born, so a long time ago. What do you guys think's worse? not being able to light my little joint here and having dead air, or actually the question is, what's worse? People saying sports writers. Bear with me, guys. I can't even read my own writing. I had this question the other day on my Twitter that I wanted to put out there, but it's just like another fucking voice adding to it, so I didn't do anything. But what's worse? I'll tell you my answer. It's people tweeting or complaining that sports writers don't act, specifically college football writers, don't want a season, or those sports writers actually defending themselves on Twitter. For me, it's easily the sports writers, because like who are you telling? Like, obviously people are smart enough to know that like sports is good for your line of business. Like don't communicate in an article sense that makes it sound like the audience, you're smarter than the audience. Sports writers aren't any smarter than the people they're writing to. They just figured out a way to get into that profession. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, looks like the ACC, SEC, and Big Ten, or not the Big Ten, the Big 12, excuse me, are going to go forward. I did see the University of North Carolina Tar Heels have already switched to having online classes because of clusters. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Maybe we get in a few games. And, yeah, I don't know. And, you know, one of the... So I've been back in New York for 3 weeks now. So it's going back home for a bit. And, you know, there have been on more than one occasion, people I know, people that have my best interest in mind, have texted me or sent me things about how there's this exodus in New York City of like everything, and there's a lot of reasons for that. One thing the media points to is the violent crime that's gone off. I think yesterday on the news over the weekend there were like 51 separate instances of shootings here in the city, and it's the comparison to last year. It's like scary. I think they said double. So last, I mean, there's still like 25, but that's bad. But double for me, 50 in a weekend. So that's what the media would jump on, and you know, when I'm walking around the city, I don't like think of anything like that. There was some guy that got, I think, shot in the subway. Not sure where that was, but a lot of it, I think, is, you know, people are fucking broke, and no one is getting anything done at this point, the state or federal level. And so people are just like, fuck this, and you know, taking what they need in like really bad ways. But if like, I would imagine if the government was a little more put together, and we acted like the smart people these are supposed to be, and there was a structure in place that made sure people were able to pay for food, for their housing for a while, instead of bickering about it. You should say, this is a human issue. We need to fix this. You know, what soapbox am I on? I don't know. But, oh yeah, Exodus in New York. So, like, I love New York. I have grown to just really like it and appreciate it in all its ways, much faster and more than I was expecting, to be honest. Just because I like being alone, and when you're in New York, you can be on top of people, but I've kind of adjusted to that. And what was this? Oh, yeah. And so I like the city enough to just, dig in and, figure it out. It's going to kill me. I'm doing everything in my damnedest not to go back to the corporate world. But I will probably do that if I need to. If I'm applying and using some of these hobby skills with stand up and the podcast and all that stuff to get involved with more producing type work. I'm not going to be a producer, but associate this, that's the kind of world I want to work in right now. And obviously it's competitive and it takes time to get in with that sort of thing. So, but I don't think if me leaving here, even if it's a better decision, is, to me, it feels like quitting. And I was thinking about this before the podcast. I was like, I haven't quit anything in my life except for baseball. I remember that distinctly. I played so many damn sports as a kid. We would have soccer and baseball on the same Saturday, and they had 2 soccer games and a minimum of 1 baseball game. I think that's pretty much how it worked out. Because baseball you can play on like Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. But on the Saturday, I'd have a soccer game in the morning, a baseball game at lunch, and this is all at the same sports complex. And then another soccer game in the afternoon, and then go home and have pizza for dinner at like 5. And then go do whatever, keep running. And I remember and I had gotten up to, you have, at least where I came from, you had Tball, and I think I did that for 1 year. I think you can do 2, because you can kind of get in like really young, and maybe that's what I did. Maybe 2 years of Tball. I don't know. It sounds bad if I did 2 years of Tball. And then it goes up to like rookie ball, and rookie ball is where I think the kids' coaches are the pitchers, and so they're just really slowing them in there right down the middle for you. And then there's double A, which I didn't have to play. I immediately got up to triple A, only because I was halfway coordinated. And but ever since we got out at, even in T-ball, I was always afraid of the ball. So in T-ball, I was afraid because you practice in this like not the best like parks, and like I knew they're not level. I've been popped up and hit in the face with things before, so I was always afraid of the baseball. And then once you got pitchers starting to throw at you, I was, I'm skinny now. I was like 100 times skinnier at the time, and if a baseball hit me, it hurt so bad. That I remember one time we were playing AAA, and I was like, Mom, I don't think I want to play baseball anymore. So I think I finished the season, and then that was it. And that was the only time I had quit something, but I just really wasn't like into it. I wish I had quit things earlier in my life as well. I should have quit soccer when I had the chance, and focused more on like what I really liked, like golf and basketball. But what are you gonna do? Hindsight 2020. But yeah, I'm not moving anywhere. I'm staying here. If it gets all sketchy and there's no like big comics are going to fucking Austin, like Joe over there, and I do think a lot of people are gonna keep leaving, both LA and New York, but I think New York is a little more. New York's cooler than LA, so it's an experience just to live in the city, whereas I don't think LA has that because everybody's in cars. But there's no inside performances here. There are some outside, like I've talked about that comedy in the park shit, but I'm waiting to see what happens there. The governor did say they're going to try to start opening gyms, and then the mayor our fucking hero, De Blasio here, said, "There's no way we're opening gyms." So I was like, not that I'm going to a gym, I'm not paying for a gym, but I was hoping maybe that get more inside stuff because I walked around. When was that? A couple days ago. I was just trying to get inspired a little bit to write some stuff, and so I did a little trip of walking past, some of the comedy spots here within like walking distance of me, and I mean I can hit a dozen walking. I can go up hit Dangerfield's Comic Strip Live. That's Upper East Side. Dangerfield's is close to me, and then just walk down towards the village, and there's several of them down there, and I can go over to Brooklyn pretty quick. But right now, there's at least to my knowledge, I haven't been able to find anywhere that is given any time to open mic people like myself. I tried to talk to some of these guys, and it's just like, yeah, well, every other comic who hasn't been performing, who's actually a pro, is trying to do this too. So we'll see. But I'm here, maybe broadcasting from a closet sooner than later, but podcast will keep going. And some of the, with the producer type work that I was trying to get into, whatever that would be, I've had some weird applications. I've applied at NBC, Fox, CNBC. I don't think I did CNBC, but some of these media companies. And, one of the best shows I've seen recently, and it was finally, it had taken me, at the start of quarantine, I blasted through like the good new shows that, the algorithm found for me. And it took forever to find some new ones. And I got Amazon, which is the worst interface. They have the most, like, access to stuff that isn't like a show production. But they have Showtime connections. So, loudest voice in the room is amazing. It's the story of Roger Ailes, disgraced and now deceased. He created Fox News, and it's so cool what he was able to do, but also they really did a good job of, cool in a way where he has an idea and he sees something that's an opportunity, and he sees, and he can see how it's going to all put together. I have a lot of respect for that. But they also did a great job of his, like, really creepy sexual harassment, and how he positioned himself within his relationships to get away with it. The guy was a creep and a bad guy with that stuff, but the way he was able to get Fox to where, I think they said as soon as it started, it became the number one rated cable news show, and has been, I think, since. So that's Roger Ailes, and then there's the other one that algorithm, have you like this, you like that. Then the other one was Get Me Roger Stone. Roger Stone, I'd work for that guy in a heartbeat. I suggest reading about him, or not reading, because I don't read, watching something on him, because he has been playing both sides and dancing politically since he was, like, I don't know, I think he got on the Nixon campaign when he was in college, and he never stopped. So, what better way for me to really understand how that works than applying to work at one of those evil companies who I always, shit on for misleading the public. And the other one is I'm Dying Up Here. It's also Showtime. And these are some of my favorite comedians. I didn't even know they made this show. It's in the 70s. It's got a 70s vibe, with the presentation, the music, even just the lettering. Very very cool, very not square, very groovy. But it's got Andrew Santino, Al Magical, Ari Grainer, and Eric Griffin. And let's see here. What do we got? Orlando 20, Milwaukee 13. Willing to bet Orlando doesn't win this first game. In fact, I need Milwaukee to sweep this pretty bad. I could win some money, you know? My main source of income now may become gambling. And with the NBA, I'm taking the Clippers all the way. Once I know they lost the Lakers on opening night. Everyone's like, whoa. But LeBron and AD played amazing, and the Clippers played pretty good. And then I seen the Clippers playing fast and doing fast breaks, and I was like, dude, I hadn't seen people pass around the ball that well in a long time. So, what do you know? You know the important things. Basketball, college football, you know, shows on TV, my frozen shoulder, and I guess might as well give a brief comment on old Sleepy Joe and Kamala Harris there. I watched the whatever you want to say introductory press conference, as weird as it was. It seemed very odd to me. Biden kept commenting on Kamala as being part of the Biden family. It was a weird dynamic. I don't, you know, just with this racial tension at the moment, I thought that was weird. Obviously, we shouldn't have to look into things that hard. Excuse me. But I did watch that. I thought Biden was the best one he's done for a long time. Kamala was good on camera. She's good. She seems like a bitch, though. Which, you know, credit to her, is a really good thing to be in that level of operations. So, but what I wanted to show here to close things out. Breaking news: former CIA officer charged with spying for China. So, yep, that's gonna be the next. That's gonna be the end. That's gonna be the end for me. You know, we've been doing this, terrorism fight since I was 11 years old. So I'm 30. We've been fighting terrorism for 19 years, really. We still are. Whatever you call that. But now, I think from here on out, probably be a little terrorism here and there because we can't get our goddamn hands out of the oil and sand over there. I don't know why. You know, it's been really nice. You know, we've been so. Here's. I'm gonna start comparing. You know, world geopolitics. I just say world geo. That's like world. Geopolitics and maneuvering, like that of, you know, a relationship. You know, and we've been focused on ourselves for a long time. The past like 5 months, right? Let's say before Corona, us, you know, America is the guy who's like, he made a bunch of money in like the 90s, but he hasn't done anything since, and, you know, technology has passed him by. But he kind of made one of those first big websites, you know. And he's got like his hot girlfriends would be like at, like back in the day was like, you know, most of the EU, you know, China. We tried to do some stuff early on. We started using them to build stuff. Little did we know, putting an entire country to work for building things for you would raised their economy to a point that they are now on the same, well, not the same, but pretty much the same, political level in the world. Where was I going? Oh yeah, relationships. But we've been so, we've had these, we've had great girlfriends. We've got our mistress that is Mexico. One of our favorites because we like the Latinas. Our go-to girl though, that's like been with us pretty much from day one. I would say, ever since like the thing happened with our parents has been, the UK. Both of our parents hated each other, but we were able to see the love, but America, this guy making all this money in the 90s didn't want to get locked down with just one girl. So, China at the time, once we've been making our money, she's the Asian girlfriend. And we did not, see what she was up to in the background, you know what I mean? And then we've also had these totally crazy, why are you in this relationship with this girl stuff going on with the Middle East? And, I myself have been involved with one of these relationships. Whenever you're with the person, you're like, why the fuck did I agree to meet this girl? And then, she sits on top of you and you're like, oh, she is crazy, but I remember. And, you make up for a minute, you have some fun, and it's explosive, and it's passionate, on both sides. Both sides are passionate, and it makes for some fun times. But it's really stunting to both parties to be involved with each other. And now that we've been focused on ourselves for the last 5 months, because we've been taking too many viruses, the corona, we got a virus, we got to focus on ourselves. After we had that last explosive session with our Middle Eastern gal, we were like, oh man, dude, I got to take a break. And then what do we need to do to take a break? Okay, look, our secret Asian girlfriend in the background has created a virus because she knows what's best for us. She always knows. She always has known. She knows us because she's created an app that watches us. And so she gives us this virus and she's like, all right, let's see America focus on themselves. See what happens. And we focus on ourselves and we focus on ourselves. And I have not seen any, we haven't had any explosive relationship stuff recently. I'm proud of the United States for focusing on ourselves so much. We've created our own autoimmune disease. That, maybe, I say this maybe once we're done with Corona, maybe like, all right, well, what were we doing before this? Corona is a lot worse than, letting people believe in what they believe in on the other side of the world. And maybe we could have some peace after this, but it doesn't work like that. Everyone is corrupt. And I think, everything's been such a hot button issue recently. I think enough time has passed where, we can kind of talk about some of the more prevalent issues, the bigger issues with corruption and how that works with all this. That's why I just can't get excited. I can't get excited about any political candidate that is, that I know to be like within the system. And the system isn't illegal. It's there. It's politics. But it's like the whole reason, people aren't getting their, corona, living benefits, like to survive, is because, to pass this, we've got to add on this, So I think if we, focus on ourselves, don't get in these explosive relationships, figure out a way for more public access to shit. That's what it is. I mean, we need eyes and ears in the hunt for Osama bin Laden room. I want that, dude. I want C-SPAN. They're already doing it to us. They're already filming us. We got to film them, man. And then we got to, not have these career people. But enough of that. Orlando 28, Milwaukee 23. I have to confess, I have not watched a single Magic game this year. So why would I? Bucks should be good. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Shit, dude. I can't say that word. I do have. You guys aren't gonna like me. I froze on that. But the new superstar quarterback at Clemson is DJ Uiagalelei. So get used to that name because he's gonna be ripping teams apart starting next year. And with that, have a great week, everybody. There's more fun things to talk about than politics, but maybe we got to start approaching this thing with some relationship advice. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Have a great week. I'll talk to you later there. I'll talk to you next week.